Hello everybody and welcome. This is an English lesson for the third grade high school students, and today we are going to talk about the past. For this lesson, you will need your notebook, something to write with, and a smartphone or a laptop with internet connection. In order to do some exercises, you will have to pause the video. When you see the pause button on the screen, it will be your signal to pause the recording in order to do some exercises. In today's lesson, you are going to use past structures to tell stories as well as write one about someone historically important from your area using the same past structures and paying attention to the text organization. We all love stories, whether we are watching a film, reading books, or playing computer games. Stories are all around us. How we tell it is also very important. When we are retelling what happened to us in the past, we have to be careful which past structures we are using because it changes the meaning of the story. Behind this bit.ly link, Mystery 987, you will find a mystery story. Your task is to listen to it and note down the verbs in the form we hear them. These verbs will later on help you retell the story. So pause the video, copy the link Mystery 987, or scan the code and start noting down the verbs. Do you all have your verbs from the story? Your list must be similar to mine. Try retelling the story with the help of the verbs. Let me help you a little bit. Who was walking and where? And what happened? A man was walking home when something strange happened. How did the man feel? And why did he feel like that? He was tired because he had had a difficult day at work. What did he do? He sat by the river and fell asleep. And what happened when he woke up? When he woke up, the moon had moved behind a cloud, the wind was blowing, and an owl hooted. What did the man hear and see next? He heard a splash and saw something terrible and frightening, a hand coming from the river. What was the hand doing, and how did it make him feel? The hand was stretching, trying to grab his leg, and the man couldn't move because of it. Who shouted and pointed something bright at the monster? The doctor shouted and pointed something with a bright flash at the monster. What did the monster do? The monster hissed and disappeared into the river. Did the man know what the monster was? No, he had never heard of the moon goblin before. Why didn't the man ask more questions about the moon goblin? He couldn't. When the man closed his eyes because of the bright light, the doctor had already gone. And what did the man do in the end? He stood up and worked home. In retelling the story, we have used past structures. We are going to deal with them a bit more in the following activities. First, we are going to do a quiz on past tenses. To join in, just copy the bit.ly link Book Past or scan the code. Do you remember which past tenses were used in this quiz? How can we express past? I am sure you have recognized past simple, past continuous, past perfect, past perfect continuous was also mentioned, as well as used to and would. Our next activity is still connected with expressing past. This is a quiz which will help you revise different uses of these past tenses and expressions. Copy the bit.ly link past use or scan the code with your mobile phone and play the matching game. If you don't get the right answers from the first try, don't worry. You can repeat the game and I'm sure you will do much better the second time. So, let's explain the uses. This here is past simple. Yesterday he cleared up the room, painted the walls light blue, and put everything back in its place. In this case, we are talking about a series of finished activities. He cleared up, painted, and put everything back. As for past continuous, it is used in two sentences. The first one, while I was cleaning, my sister was making dinner, is an example of two actions happening simultaneously. And the second one, while everybody was panicking, they got back into the apartment. It shows us the use of past continuous as the background to another activity. This example shows the use of past perfect. Past perfect is used to talk about an action that happened before another past action. In this case, first the lesson started, then I joined in. She had been training for the triathlon the whole summer is an example of past perfect continuous. As soon as we have continuous form, we know that we are talking about something that lasted longer. Past perfect continuous is used when we talk about actions which lasted for some time before another past activity. In this case, she looked amazing in the past because she had been training. She had been training before she looked amazing, and she had been doing it for some time. We are left with the use of would and used to. Both of these expressions are used to talk about past habits. While used to can be used with both action verbs like walk, cook, or fix, and state verbs like have, like, or believe, would can only be used with action verbs. So you can say instead of I would sit in my granny's lap, I used to sit in my granny's lap. But you can't say Johnny would like tomatoes instead of Johnny used to like tomatoes because the meaning changes. Enough about the rules. Let's move to practical use once again. Besides using past when retelling a story, can you think of other examples when it's important to use past structures? I would like you to think about presenting a tourist destination. What would you talk about using past tenses? You would probably use it when talking about the history of your town or some important people from your town's past. Today, we are going to concentrate on historical figures. We have prepared another quiz for you. Let's see if you can match some very important people with the towns we associate them with. Again, scan the code or copy the bit.ly link historical figures quiz and play the game. This was probably too easy for you. Let's look at the first person in this exercise, Ban Josip Jelačić. What do you know about him? I'm sure you know that he was born in Petrovaradin, but what about his connection with Zaprešić? You will find out more about him from this text. This is a gap fill exercise. In order to get the whole text, you will have to drag the verbs in their gaps. Once again, copy the bit.ly link Josip Jelačić or scan the code and you're set to go. Was the quiz difficult? And did you learn anything new about Ban Josip Jelačić? Let's check. We have prepared some questions for you. Who was he? What are the things we remember him by? What about his personal life? And how is he connected with Novi Dvori in Zaprešić? Can you answer all these questions without looking back at the text? If you can't, don't worry. You have here a bit.ly link, Ban text, and a QR code for the text about Josip Jelačić to help you recall all the information you need in order to answer the questions. Please write your answers into your notebook. Let's compare our answers now. Josip Jelačić was a general, a count, and a Croatian ban. He abolished serfdom and tax paying. He also fought for our right to use Croatian as the official language. While his professional life flourished, he didn't have much time for his private life. He got married quite old, had one daughter who died very young. Ban Josip Jelačić lived in Novi Dvori together with his family. This is also the place where his family tomb is. Let's go back to the text about Ban Josip Jelačić and discuss its structure. It consists of three parts: introduction, a part where we introduce the topic. In this case, we have connected Ban Josip Jelačić with Novi Dvor. The body, in our case, it consists of two paragraphs. One about Ban's accomplishments, another about his personal life. And finally, conclusion. The part where we wrap up the story about Ban and Novi Dvor. Your task is to write a similar text about a historical figure from your region or town. It should be 200 words long. It should have the introduction, body, and conclusion. Also, you should use 3 different ways of expressing past. Don't forget about cohesive devices like linking words. They will make your text easier to follow. Creating a mind map is your starting point. It can help you organize your ideas before you start writing the text. Choose a historical figure and think about his or her background, work, national or international importance, personal life, and not to forget his or her connection with the town or region you come from. You can check your writing with your virtual classroom teacher. Good luck! We've come to the end. The only thing that is left for you to do is to go through this checklist and assess your writing. Have you chosen a historical figure from your area? Have you created a mind map? Have you organized your text into 3 parts? Have you used 3 different ways to write about the past? Have you used linking words? And finally, is your text 200 words long? I hope you have done all these things. This is all for today. Goodbye till next time.